Hello 4B! Welcome again to my room. Maringa sa nakayam, hipipi, pasensya na. So,
Okay.
I highly anticipate again that our class is never been good. Kay waray maupay nga signal ha office, waray maupay nga signal ha bibso. So, I decided to take this film again or to take up this video again to further discuss what is the reason behind all of those oral recitation na akong gipamemorya iyo, the complaint affidavit, the counter complaint affidavit, the reply, the rejoinder, the preliminary investigation, the MR, or the motion for reconsideration. So those documents are started with this one, PI, or the preliminary investigation. When you say preliminary investigation, it is the crucial part. Why? So because when you say preliminary investigation, it is a inquiry or proceeding to determine whether there's a sufficient facts or sufficient ground to engender a well-founded belief that the crime is actually committed and the respondent is guilty thereof and he or she held for trial. So this is a very crucial in criminal proceedings. It's because it is where the prosecutor will determine in the complaint or determine whether there is a sufficient ground or there is a crime or there is a probable cause that the crime is actually committed. So that's why it is very advisable to seek for legal advice or legal assistance to make your complaint strong, to establish the elements of crime. So if ma-find out ni prosecutor po na hindi sufficient or there's no criminal or there's no crime that is actually happened, there's a probability that hindi mapapile yung information sa court. Okay, back to the preliminary investigation. Usapang preliminary investigation tayo. It started when a person or when there is plaintiff to file the complaint. So, as I said in the earlier topic, when you file a complaint, hindi yan nagagawa ng verbal lang or makatuka kan prosecutor o prosecutor may nakasala ako, hindi. So, it should be in a legal form or in a legal way, and that is the essence of a legal form in our subject topic. So, legal form. So, it started with the complaint affidavit. Sa Tagalog, ito ay sinumpaang salaysay ng pagre-reklamo. Nakapaloob dyan yung mga reklamo mo versus kan respondent. So, in the sinumpaang salaysay ng pagre-reklamo or the complaint affidavit, it contains the name of the respondent. As I said in the earlier topic, the affidavit it is usually formed in a narration form. Yes, it stated there what is the time, the actual time and place that the crime has been committed. And take note, although there's a recommendation in the case on the complaint affidavit, but only the prosecutor will recommend or will decide what case shall be filed to the respondent. Next step. After filing a complaint, it's time for the Office of the City Prosecutor to issue a subpoena. Ngayon kita ma-issue ang subpoena after a complaint. So, of course, ano yung ginreklamo? Hinong ginreklamo? Respondent. So, dere pa matatawag ang case since we are on the preliminary stage or preliminary investigation stage. Adi pala kita PI. Tawag nga na is respondent. You will file or the prosecutor's office will issue a subpoena. And when you say subpoena, it is a writ ordering or requiring a person to appear in a certain period of time or date. Sometimes the room naka-indicate nga to kung hain na room pwede ngayon nga room makadto. The officer. So, subpoena, there are two types of subpoena. The subpoena ad testificandum and subpoena dusisticum. After the issuing of subpoena, it's time to answer the complaint affidavit. Sino ba yung mag-a-answer ng complaint affidavit? Of course, ano mo ginreklamo? Si respondent. In a form of another legal form, this is what we call the counter affidavit. Sa Tagalog, ito ay kontrasalaysay. Kontrasalaysay ni respondent. Madako niyang gamit para kan respondent. It's because it is where in counter affidavit, he or she may claim his defense through this through this legal form, the counter affidavit. Nakabase liwat ang imo ginyayakan ha imo counter affidavit kung ano ang complaint ha imo ha complaint affidavit. And then after that, pakiana, tapos na ba ang preliminary investigation? No, hindi nagtatapos dyan. It's time again to make another form, and that is the reply affidavit. Reply affidavit, it is filed by the complainant to the new issues raised or to the new evidence kung may daman mga evidence na ginpakita nga to or may gin-statement na evidence nga to counter affidavit. It's time for him to make a reply in the form of reply affidavit. After the reply affidavit, it's time to answer again. Hino ang ma-answer? He respondent in a form of rejoinder affidavit. And then, dyan nagtatapos yung process ng preliminary investigation. Di ba halaba? Preliminary investigation pa ito. How much more kon ada na ha trial?
Okay.
Complaint affidavit by complainant, counter affidavit by respondent, reply affidavit by complainant, and again, rejoinder affidavit by respondent. And that's the cycle. There are instances that the case dere nasa kakorte because maram na kamo an rason. There is no probable cause and there is no sufficient ground to that the crime, that there is an element of crime. Kore. Pero may remedy pa nga da. It's time to have an appeal. And it's time to have the motion for reconsideration. Motion for reconsideration is usually done by the following options. When you believe that the judge didn't consider or not properly examine the evidences, and the new evidence is available and you were not able to present before the judge made the decision. Pakiana, what if a motion for reconsideration didn't consider? Another remedy, if in that case, the motion for reconsideration, waray derego dia madara, it's time for the Department of Justice and they will review your case. And Department of Justice na ma-review yung case if in that case nga dere ma-approve ang motion for reconsideration.
What we have here is a sample of affidavit. Usually pag affidavit, start with this word, the Republic of the Philippines, the location or the venue or Nabalbuliran. We have there the complainant is Princess Bubblegum versus the respondent Finn. So, ang tawag niya nga di is the place, ang pinakasiya naging bubutang affidavit, it is where the affidavit is executed. So, it state there na balbiliran nga to execute versus a complainant versus respondent. If you see on the right side, nakabutang nga daan, recommended case. Wala pa yan na-aproban since complaint pala. But I'll tell you, pwede ka kung maghimukan affidavit or complaint affidavit rather, you could suggest or you could recommend a case but the prosecutor will decide kung ano nga case and igpa-file. Then the second part is where the caption. This is the caption, the complaint affidavit. Kung ano nga affidavit hiya. The last topic that we had is we have the affidavit of loss. Yan na, may nakita complaint affidavit. Next to that is the personal circumstances. Personal circumstances, sabi niya, personal circumstances. Wait. I will read it to you. I, Princess Bubblegum, a legal age Filipino with residence at 24th floor Castle Nabalbiliran, after being sworn in accordance with the law hereby depose and state that after the personal circumstances, we have here the body. Like what we did on the previous topic, the affidavit of loss, we do it, the body, we did it in narrative form or in narration. Same as the complaint affidavit, it should be in a narrative form. Number one, pagkakita dahil niyo nga da, makikita na niyo ang ngara ni accused kung hino ang ginreklamo. Or respondent, in technical term, that was the respondent. Since adi pala kita preliminary investigation. And then I will read it to you. The accused, Finn, is my friend for 5 years. already and residing at Nabalbiliran. On November 24 of 2021 at 10:30 p.m., I was alone in my room when the accused arrived. And when I was inside in my room, the accused held my hand tightly and I asked him what was wrong, but he squeezed my hand and I tried to fight, but my effort wasn't enough. And number 4, I tried to leave in my room, but the accused followed me and forced me to lay on bed. And the accused laid on the top of me and I cried and begged for help. Then my friend Jake arrived, and with that, the accused stopped and suddenly ran to escape. After the incident happened, I went to municipal building to file charges against the accused. On number 8, kung mapapansin niyo, there is a recommended case already. But I'll tell you again, in complaint affidavit, pwede mag-recommend fiscal kung ano nga case ang i-file, but only the prosecutor will decide what case to file. So it states there that under the Article 6 of Revised Penal Code, there is an attempt when the offender commences the commission of a felony directly by overacts and does not perform all the acts of execution which should produce the felony by reason of some cause or accident other than his spontaneous desistance. In Article 266-A of the Revised Penal Code on rape, penetration is an essential act of execution to produce felony. Thus, for there to be an attempted rape, the accused must have commenced the act, but for some accident other than his spontaneous desistance, the act was not completed. So, provided nga waray na dayon ng rape kanina, hanggang state ni Princess Bubblegum against the accused. But all the execution of acts is present, but there is an accident or there is a reason or some cause or accident that the incident or that the intention was not committed. Because of that, it is considered attempted rape. Number 9, I am executing this affidavit to attest the truth of the foregoing facts and for the purpose of filing the complaint for attempted rape against the accused. So, may dakita nga di, further affiant say it not. Where is it? Yeah, na-adjust ko lang. Here is it. Affiant further say it not. That means to say that the affiant has nothing further to say. And the next is the attestation clause. After the body, the attestation clause attested that in witness whereof I hereunto affix my signature in this 25th of November 2021 Naval, Philippines. After the attestation clause, what we have here is the name and signature of the affiant. Who, in the previous topic, we discussed who is the affiant. He is actually the one who execute or make and file the affidavit. So, siya naggawa ng sinumpang salaysay. Ni Princess Bubblegum, anato na affiant nga di. And next is the jurat. Subscribed and sworn to before this 25th of 2021 at Naval, Philippines, I hereby certify that I have personally examined the above name of the affiant and satisfied that the foregoing statement were given by her voluntarily and her own free will. Okay? Pero kung magpasa ka talaga ng affidavit, pwede ni mo diri panotaryohan daw. Kay automatic pag kumadto ka hakuan prosecutor's office ngadto ka na mag-sworn na nimo statement, ngadto ka na doon mo na gagawin yung sinumpaang salaysay mo. And pwede lahat diri na maghimo daw or magpanotaryo na affidavit. It's because the office is an auto office. Here's the finished documents, the one that I presented kanina. As you can see on the left upper side, there is the venue where the affidavit was executed. You can see there here's the complainant versus the respondent. If you could take a look in the upper right side, here's the recommended case. We have here the caption, which is the complaint affidavit. We have here the personal circumstances, the body, okay, in narrative form, and then we have here the attestation clause. And after that we have the signature or name and the signature of the affiant, and then the jurat. Okay. So at least you have the idea now on how to make a complaint affidavit. Hello class. Disclaimer, I'm not a legal practitioner here, just your instructor. My intention is just to share with you the basic information or the basic knowledge of preliminary investigation and how the use of legal forms in that procedure during preliminary investigation. So as an instructor, I did all my best just to give you the information or the basic information about this topic.